It's not for everyone to move. That's something I also had to realize because at the beginning I was telling everybody, oh, you have to move abroad. It's amazing. But it's not for everyone.
Welcome to Expat Life Germany, the podcast about life in Germany as seen through the eyes of outsiders. And before I get to this week's guest, I must just tell you, I had a cool thing happen to me this week. I had my first ever recommendation on Facebook for this podcast. So it turns out for Facebook page, there's the Expat Life Germany Facebook page. People can randomly recommend the page and say nice things. And as it turned out, somebody did just that. And it just blows my mind that somebody did that. The listener's name is Angie, and this is what she wrote. We are considering a move to Germany. The information on the podcast is invaluable. And that's all I needed. It put such a spring in my step to read that because it's good to hear that people are listening. It's good to know that what I'm putting out there, people are actually listening to and people are enjoying it. And the fact that someone would want to recommend the podcast on their social media feed without me requesting it, without me even knowing that it was possible to do, it's a good feeling. So thanks, Angie, for that. Now, let's talk about this week's guest. This week's guest is from Italy. Her name is Liliana, and she's been living in Germany for just over 7 years. She spent some time initially living in Berlin and is currently living in Hamburg. And she became a German citizen quite recently. She also has a YouTube channel. She's a YouTuber where she discusses her life here in Germany in Italian. I tried watching the YouTube channel and my Italian is 0 and it didn't go well. But it was fun watching her because she has so much energy and passion and you can just see it coming through even if you don't understand the language. The YouTube channel, if you do understand Italian, is called Lils Around. And in our interview, we discuss the road to citizenship for her specifically, why she would struggle if she moved back to Italy now, her love for Germany, and about growing to like Hamburg. Here's Liliana. So on the show this week, I have, I don't know if I'm saying this name right. Your name is Liliana.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yes. And you are from Italy.
Yes, I am.
The first
From
Italian.
the south of Italy, actually.
Okay, the south of Italy. You're the first Italian I've had on the show. So, there's
Nice. I'm happy about that. You don't have any northern Italian before me.
No, you're representing South Italian before anyone else could get there.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
How far south are you talking?
I come from Naples, so city for sun, pizza, and good songs.
Yes.
So it's pretty south.
Okay.
I don't know where people actually start defining the south. I think after Rome. So I think Naples is one of the first southern cities.
Yeah. So you are in Germany and you studied in Germany, right?
Yeah. I did.
How did it come about that you were studying in Germany?
Basically, I studied for 1 year in Italy too, but I was studying engineering and it was some kind, like a very specific kind of chemical engineering, and it wasn't for me at all. Like I didn't like it. So after that, I was kind of frustrated. I studied something else, photography in like private schools and so on. And then came to a point that I really didn't know what to do with my life because I'm that kind of person that loves a lot of things. Yeah. And not just one passion. So it was very hard for me. The only thing that I knew was that I wanted to go to Germany.
Okay.
And a lot of people is like, why actually?
That was
why
my next question.
Did you want to go to? Exactly. So I have German origins. You can see that probably from my surname. It's really, really far away origins, like 5 generations before me. And but I don't know why. I'm just the only one in the family that really feels it. Even as a child, I was very curious about these origins that I had and about this country. In general, I love to travel and I love to learn new languages. And then at this point in my life where I didn't know what to do, I decided, okay, the only thing that I know is that I want to go to Germany, that I'm really curious about this country. So let's just go there and try to learn the language, because I was already trying to learn German in Italy. And see what happens. And then it happened that I was in Germany. I wanted to go just for 2 months and study the language. And then, here I am. So I was 7 years
later.
After that. Exactly.
That's how it goes.
I'm really proud that I really started learning German from the beginning, like from the first day. The first thing that I did after finding a room, an apartment to sleep in, was to register myself in a German language school.
Right.
And a year after that, I learned I could speak German and I could have normal conversation with people.
Wow.
So I decided, like, okay, I want to use this. I don't want to be a waiter forever. I don't want to work in Italian restaurants forever. So I wanna have a profession, and for that I probably have to study something. And then I was zapping on the university's websites. In Berlin at that time, because I was in Berlin at that time, and I found some kind of studies that I could eventually like. It was also like kind of random, and then I decided to jump in and try and see what happens again.
Wow. So what made you choose Berlin when you were deciding to come over to Germany? Was it just an obvious choice?
I was in Berlin before as a tourist with my boyfriend together, and we loved the city. Yeah. It's super, super alternative, super international, and we really loved it. And so, since we already knew the city a little bit, we decided to go there first. It's also at that time it was very, very cheap. So it was also easier because we didn't have a lot of budget. We were 21 and 22.
Right.
So
you said you learned German to a conversational level within 1 year.
I was doing intensive courses, so it was something like 4 hours a day for 5 days a week.
Wow.
I think. So It was very intensive. But I was super motivated, and that was the first reason why I came to Germany. I also felt like, okay, I'm doing this experience abroad, but I cannot waste my time, so at least I will learn something, and I learned the language. But I love to learn languages, and I'm kind of like, I'm good at it. So
you decided on what exactly was the university course the course that you enrolled in?
I chose a course which in German it's called Medieninformatik. So in English it would be something like media and computing.
Yeah.
Basically it was a lot of coding, programming, and some kind of media and visual stuff.
Could you code before that?
No, not at all. I didn't know what that was. Like I was I knew myself. I knew that I wanted to do something like scientific, like don't take literature, but take math.
Right.
And I also knew that I like practical stuff, and I think like informatics is the most practical science out there. So I chose. I was, as I said, I was jumping in and seeing if I like it or not.
Yeah, and you were studying it in German.
It was everything in German, but not the informatic course, so the computer science course, because the teacher there was American.
Okay.
So she was speaking in English.
All right. Wow, that's incredible. I still don't even know if I could study in German now, and I've been here for 12 years. Woo.
Well, informatic is easier because you have a lot of English terms in that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're a YouTuber. You have a channel. What is your channel called?
my channel's name is Lils Around.
Lils Around, yeah, and it's mostly in Italian. I watched some videos when I was preparing for this interview, but I had to put on the auto translate. I don't know if you've ever used auto translate on YouTube.
Okay.
It is horrendous. You were saying some weird things. I'm like, I don't know if she's really saying this or if it's just the bad translation. But one of the videos you did, and I must just say, you said in the beginning of our chat now, you said that you've got a lot of passion for a lot of things. And that definitely comes across when I'm just watching your videos in Italian, not understanding anything, because my Italian understanding is zero, is that you are a very passionate person. You just come across it. You watch for 30 seconds and you definitely see that. But
Thank you.
One of your videos was a German video that I think you did in 2017.
Yeah, then.
Yeah, back in the day. And it is the 5 most asked German questions that you get. So the 5 things that Germans most often ask you. So I decided I will ask you the same questions and see what your answers are.
All right.
And you did that. That was the first video that you did in German, right?
I think so, yeah. The one and only, I think. Oh no, maybe I did some more after that, but I feel so awkward at looking at myself speaking other languages.
Oh, I know. I know. I of course I have this podcast, and I have for my job I also do some YouTube work, not like you, but some just presenting some YouTube videos. And it's all fine. I've gotten used to hearing myself talk and everything. But then the other day when I was recording something, I spoke German sort of off camera, and the guy was recording it, and then he played it back just to hear something. I'm like, oh my God, I can't listen to that. I cannot listen to me speaking German. It's horrendous. I don't actually know why anyone wants to talk to me. I don't, because I sound terrible.
Yeah, I'm always grateful that in normal life you don't have to hear yourself back, so that you don't feel awkward every time.
Yeah, so we'll get a bit more to your YouTube channel a bit later. But first, I want to ask you these 5 questions. So first of all, we've already covered it. Where in Italy are you from? You said Napoli, and you were born and raised there.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's covered. We got that. Now, how long have you been living in Germany? I think we've already covered that. 7 years.
Yeah.
And why did you come to Germany? We've also covered. So actually, this isn't going very well. We've actually covered all this. Could you already speak German when you came here? Also covered it. And I think this is where we'll get the most stuff. It's so how do you like living in Germany? I assume if 2 months became 7 years, I'm assuming that you kind of like the country.
Yeah, I really like the country. Of course, like right now, after 7 years, it's really hard to make the comparison with Italy again, because there's a lot of stuff that I got used to, and I just cannot remember what's different. But anyway, I still know that Italy is not so performing well in something like organizational stuff and bureaucracy. Yes. Also, politics is very bad right now. And Germany, the thing that I like at most in Germany, and that a lot of people actually don't like, is that there are fixed rules for everything. So it's really hard to make stuff wrong. Like, you know what you have to do. You just have to do it that way, and that's good. And then you will be good, and everything will work fine.
The guidelines are right there, people. You just have to know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you like that, because that is a common complaint, or kind of maybe not necessarily a complaint, but a lot of expats and foreigners will say, "My God, there's just too many rules for things." But that's something you like. You clearly like structure and.
I like structure. Like at most, I like it. Because, again, for bureaucracy and for, like, doing documents and this and that, you find everything online what you need to do for that. And it's pretty, like, sometimes it's not so easy because it's not very digitalized.
Oh, yeah.
But still, it's, you know what you have to do, and you know the steps that you have to take, and that's it. Sometimes it's also annoying, of course, because sometimes you feel like people should be a little bit more flexible, and if the official way to do something would take forever, and there is another one that would take like half of the time. Maybe we could try with the other way, but still I'm happy that at the end everything is working. And for people that come from Italy, and I'm sure that there are a lot of other countries where this happens, where stuff just doesn't work, or you have to pay someone to make it work, or you have to scream in the telephone to make something work, then this is just relaxing. You know that things is going to work in a way.
You also said in that same video, and I guess this is what you were alluding to, is you said that life is easy here.
Exactly.
Is that what you were referring to when you say that life is easy here?
Yeah, life is easy in this way. Also for transportation is just working. Even if I'm starting to complain about that, like I'm starting to jump on the, like, to be too Germanized to start complaining about the transportation.
That's how you know you're integrating, when you start complaining about things that are perfectly fine. You're German.
Exactly. But yeah, everything is easy, and well, of course, also for the study, find a job path, it's very easy. You study something and you very easily find a job. And it's not like that everywhere in the world, sadly. So yeah.
I mean, it couldn't all have been good times, your time in Germany. There must have been some bad times. Was there ever a time when you thought you just wanted to go back to Italy, or you wanted to give up?
Go back to Italy, not really, because I know that I will not be able to adapt again to the...
Yeah? You would be like an expat there, going back to Italy? You'd be like a foreigner?
I feel like I wouldn't adapt to the mindset of the people. There's a lot of things that I got used to in Germany that I think are better, that I wouldn't accept anymore in Italy. But there were some times where I was thinking about going in another country. And that was actually after a while that I moved to Hamburg and I started working full-time. It was just too many changes altogether. And there I kind of struggled for a while, but then it went on, and now it's everything okay again.
I guess at those times, it is those times when we have those difficult times, or a lot of things are coming together at the same time, that you kind of start thinking about moving.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I give up and I go. But I was also realizing that I was kind of thinking about giving up, and I don't like to give up. So I was like, okay, just calm down, and probably you can solve this in a way. And that happened.
Just get through it. And so here's a sixth question that you didn't cover in that video that I watched, but what do you do for a living now? You said you studied computer science, or medium. What did you say it was? Media information science.
Media and computing. It would be in English, but
So what do you do for a living?
So I'm an iOS developer. So I develop iOS apps, so apps for iPhone and iPad, and I'm very happy about that.
You're an Apple fan?
Yes, I am. Okay. Very openly, I am.
Wow. Okay, very cool. Very interesting. So recently, and I think quite recently, because once again, I was snooping around on your social media. You also have a page, also called Lils Around, right? Yeah.
Everywhere, in all the social media.
Yeah, you're everywhere. Yeah, I've seen you on Instagram as well. But I was having a look through your Facebook page, and it looked like you became a German citizen quite recently.
Yeah, I did.
So I'll read you the post from, I think it was the 27th of September. Hamburg may not be a perfect city, not the coolest, and not the place where I would have thought to live for a longer while. But Hamburg is the city where I got my German citizenship, and after so many years in Germany, this is one of the most important moments in the story of my life. So, thank you to the city, but also to Berlin, where all this path started, and to Feder, I guess husband or boyfriend?
It's my boyfriend, yeah.
Boyfriend, to always be part of the most exciting events of my life. Ich bin ein Berlinerin, eine Hamburgerin, eine Neapolitanerin und eine Weltbürgerin. So, yeah. So what that last bit means for people who might not be... might not know the German, it means I'm a Berliner, a Hamburger, and what do we call it? Napolite? Napolitaner. Yeah, could be. And a world citizen. So the question is, I guess Germany is now your home, as you've said. Yeah. But what about the cities? Because you mentioned that Hamburg is not the perfect city and not the coolest and not the place where you thought you would live for a while. Why is that? And do you have plans to leave Hamburg?
So I had a really hard relationship with Hamburg. First of all, it was the city where I started working full-time. So my life was completely different and harder because I was spending the most of my time working. Before that, I was studying, and when you study, you have a lot of more free time, of course, and you don't really realize what it is to work full time. You just want to go for the full time job, but you don't know what it means. Also, Hamburg is very different from Naples and from Berlin. I often compare Berlin and Naples.
Okay.
Because they are both very chaotic and very alternative, and they have, like, for me, they have a really strong energy and a really strong character. And Hamburg is more shy. Okay. So I realized with the time, at the beginning, I wasn't very happy about the city because it felt like a normal city, like where not a lot of different and alternative things happen, but and also Hamburg is a lot richer than Berlin, and you kind of feel it if you lived in Berlin for a while and then you move to Hamburg, you feel it. And after a while, and now I'm starting to understand the city better.
Okay.
And I know that Hamburg has also a very good energy and a very good character, but it's more hidden, and you have to find it, and you have to be the active person trying to find that warm heart, let's say.
When you say that Berlin was more alternative, a lot of alternative things happen, and the same for Napoli, what are you referring to with alternative? Like, what kind of scene is for you an alternative scene?
So Berlin is different than everything else in the world, I think. Berlin is a city which had a very particular history, of course. Yeah. And then it became just a cheap international city. It's completely different from all other cities in Germany, I realized. Everybody was telling me that, and then now I know. The people is like dressed crazy, act like crazy, and do crazy stuff, and nobody cares about that. Everything can happen in Berlin. Whatever you could think of, it could happen in Berlin. It is the city of electro music, so you find a lot of electro parties, but also rock parties, indie parties. I know that you are an indie music lover. Yeah. I am too. Yeah. So you can find wherever in Berlin. Nobody cares that it's different. The people embrace the difference. Yeah. And for Naples, it's a little bit different because it's less alternative in that way, that people dress crazy or like that. That doesn't happen in Naples, because Naples is still an Italian city, so people should dress nice. Right. But it's also very different from all other Italian cities. It's a little bit more crazy, has different traditions, and it's completely different from everything else in Italy. Yeah. So
I often wonder with Berlin, because I I've been to Berlin a few times, and it's one of my favorite cities that I've been to in the world as well. I've never lived there, so I've never experienced it, what it's like to live there. But it definitely is. It's got such an amazing energy to it. But I do often wonder, and also when I speak to people from Berlin, like you said, if that's really the real Germany. I mean, it is Germany. It is an aspect of Germany. But I often get the feeling that it's like you say, very, very different from anything else. Even if you go to Munich, which is another big city, it's just the experience is worlds apart between those two cities.
I don't know if it's Germany actually. I feel like it's more. I think there are some cities in the world that are part of this. How do you say, of this small group of cities that cannot be really associated to the country they are in, like London, Barcelona, Berlin, and probably, I don't know, in Italy, I would know, probably Naples, I don't know. But yeah, there are some kind of cities, probably New York, cities that are just different from wherever you could find in that country. And
so you became a German citizen. I assume that you were able to keep your Italian passport as well.
Yes, I could.
So you're a dual citizen. When did you decide that you wanted to go the citizenship route?
I kind of knew that from the beginning because of the German origins and stuff. I was always thinking about that. If I stay enough in this country, then I will take that, because why not? The fact that I could keep my Italian one made everything easier to decide. Like, I didn't have to drop anything and take the German one, so it was really easy for me.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose, exactly.
And what was the path for you to become a citizen then? Were you able to get it through your heritage, or was it also just because you've been living here for 7 years?
That's super funny, because I got it because I'm here for a longer time, because I'm here for 7 years. But as I sent an email to the office that is organizing that, and I told them my situation, that I have German origins, that I live here for more than 7 years and so on. And they wrote me, okay, so the first thing that you have to do is come here and check if maybe you're not German already. And I was like, what?
Oh?
After 7 years, you're telling me that I'm German already? Okay, that was super funny. But since my origins are very far away, like 5 generations, I could have go that path. I could research and check if one of my ancestors dropped the German citizenship or not, to check if I am German already. But it would have taken a lot of time.
Yeah.
And for me, since I was here for 7 years, I studied in Germany, and that counts to have like a bonus on the time you live in Germany. Normally you have to stay 8 years.
Yeah.
I could take it with 6 years already because I studied here. Okay. And since I did this test DAF exam, it's one of the official German exams to get into university. And that counted for me as the German citizenship test. So I didn't have to do anything. I just had to give some documents about me, like my birth certificate and some other stuff. I just had to give it to the office, and that's it, and pay. And so it was super easy, and I didn't go the research path. I just
that's a way easier way to go. That's a way easier way than I had, because I had to do I think the language level is B1 or B2. I can never remember anymore. So I had to do the language test, and then I also had to do the stupid test. They have 333 questions prepared that you can look up anytime on the internet, and then you have to pretty much study them all. And it's things like, how does the Bundestag work? Who votes for the chancellor? What is the different aspects of parliament? And then What about the states? Questions about the different states of Germany. It's just, it's such a pain in the butt to learn. So, but anyway.
I was super happy that I didn't have to go the whole path.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was super easy.
Yeah. And then we actually got turned down the first time we tried it, and we just tried it again, luckily. And we eventually got our citizenship. So yeah, I'm a bit jealous that it was so easy for you.
I'm sorry.
Now, you mentioned Feder earlier on, your boyfriend. So you guys became German citizens together?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he's not a German citizen.
He has to wait the 8 years because he didn't study.
Right.
And he will probably also need the German test and the citizenship test because he doesn't have any, like he has a B1, I think. Mm-hmm. Something like that, but I think he will need the test. Right. What I would recommend to people is to make the integration course. So you study German. It's like I think it's an intensive course, but then at the end you have this test with the 30 questions, like very similar to the citizenship test, and then you have it already. Then you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, that's useful. Where does his love for Germany come from? Is it from you?
Yes.
Next question. So you guys already knew each other from Italy, right? And then you moved here together.
Yeah, exactly. We were already together like 1 year as we decided to move because we didn't have anything to do in Italy, actually. We weren't studying, we weren't working, and then we decided to move here. And yeah, so he just came because I was pushing so hard because I wanted to go to Germany.
And he loves it now as well. I mean, he's also fallen in love with the place?
I don't know if he's falling in love like me, but he likes it. He would never go back. Like, we talk about that oftentimes, and he says he would love to go back to Italy for like, I don't know, for an emotional side, but not but he knows that life is way harder, and his job is not really good in Italy. He's a pizza baker. So, of course, Italy is the place for pizza baker, but then you don't get paid very well and so on. So it's way different. Okay.
And what is his relationship to Hamburg versus Berlin? Is it also, does he prefer it, or?
He also loves Berlin, like me. Like, we are both Berlin fans. But on the other hand, I think like he has a dream to open a restaurant someday. And I think he is thinking about opening it here in Hamburg. Since everything is a little bit more quiet, the city is a little bit smaller, and maybe for people in the 20s, Berlin is very cool and it's very nice to live there. But I think in the 30s, it's good to be in a place that's a little bit more quiet.
Calmer.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that you guys are both aligned with the option for living in Germany. It's the same for me and my wife. She is also South African. We both came across to Germany, and it would have been really tough and a very different situation if one of us ever really wanted to go back. So it really helps that you're both aligned and wanting to stay here.
Yeah, that's luck, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I mean, yeah, I don't know. I had this period where I was thinking about going to Barcelona, for example. And he was like, yeah, I like the city too, but I don't know, because, again, job situation and so on. For me, it's easier because as a developer, you get a good job in most of the big cities in the world. For him, it's a little bit different. So, but then that's a compromise. Then if you love each other, you
got to find those compromises.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about your YouTube channel for a minute. Why did you start this? How long have you been running it, and what was the reason behind starting your channel?
It's running since a long time, a lot more than it should, I think. Like at the beginning, my idea was to share expat experiences. So I started interviewing people too, but it was just Italian people living abroad. Then I decided to share a little bit more of my life because it was really hard to find people that want to be in the video. But at the beginning, I wasn't taking it very seriously, so I was uploading not very regularly and so on. So I think 2 or 3 years were very random, and then the last year, probably, or from some months ago, I decided to go in it and upload more regularly and share my life in Germany as an Italian girl. In Italian, so for Italian people, and I'm happy because seems like I'm helpful to some people that maybe are thinking about moving to Germany, but they don't trust themselves. They're scared about that. So a lot of people is writing me, asking me advice and stuff like that.
And that's amazing, isn't it? When you get feedback like that from people who are kind of saying, I watch your videos and can you help me with this aspect, or can you give me some advice?
Yeah, sometimes I think that's the bigger motivation to go on, because sometimes you feel like, okay, maybe it doesn't make sense what I'm doing, but actually it does, because there's a lot of people that you're impacting. Sometimes I feel sorry because people ask me things that I don't know because I'm not, like, I can share my experience, but I'm not an expert in everything that happens in Germany.
Yes.
So sometimes I don't know how to help them, but I try to do my best.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because since I started this podcast, I also get some of these messages with people asking me for help. And sometimes people come to me with tax questions. I'm like, I don't know. I don't. Or a lot of visa questions as well. And I really don't know visas, because I'm now a German citizen. I have been for about 3 years, and there's been some new visas and I don't keep track of it anymore. So I can't help people. But I do like it when they ask me, because I'm getting to know other people who could help them, and I can ask those people or send them to those people. So that's one cool thing. And also what you said about that's what keeps these things going. The same with the podcast. After a few episodes, I realized how much work this is, and I was thinking, do I want to continue with this? Do I really want to do this? And just as I made the decision, after it was only a few episodes, that I was going to stop it, I got my first message. I got a first message from someone, and they said, it was just a few lines, and it said, I love your podcast. I listen to them all, and it's really helping me because I'm going to be moving to Germany next year. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So then I think that's incredible. It's good to get that kind of feedback.
I also like I studied photography in Italy, so I also like the visual part of it. That's why I'm not making a podcast, but YouTube. So I like cutting videos and editing and stuff like that. I'm not very good at it because I just started with that channel, so I'm not very good, but I'm enjoying also the technical part. And another thing that I like is documenting my life. Sometimes I go back and watch some older videos and I feel like, oh yeah, I remember that moment.
I remember
That's
feeling
cool.
like that.
Yeah. So I'm happy I did the video about the citizenship, because there would be one video where I will look back and see an important moment again.
Very cool. And there's all kinds of videos there. I saw one of you at a skate park or some kind of skating competition, and all kinds of videos available there. So what I usually ask the guests that come on the show as the last question is, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to expats coming to Germany?
Okay, that's very hard. I have a lot.
Yeah. You have a lot. What kind of time do you have? You can give me a few if you want.
I would say it's not for everyone to move. That's something I also had to realize, because at the beginning I was telling everybody, oh, you have to move abroad, it's amazing. But it's not for everyone. I think you should feel this willing to discover a new culture. and not just go there for a job, because then it would be very frustrating. You should feel motivated to integrate in the culture and not just stay the, I don't know, Italian, Spanish, whatever person you were. And also be very open-minded and don't look at other users as strange and bad users. Just look at that with curiosity and see what can be maybe good for you too if you change that habit.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Very important. Otherwise, you go back in 2 months probably.
Yeah, I think that's very good advice. And I do think that there's a certain kind of person that living abroad is better for. Like, let's put it this way. It suits people better, like you said. Certain people can do it because they have, and generally it's the people who really want to travel, so they go somewhere and they're an expat there, but then while they're there, they do a lot of travels all over the place, and they do a lot of amazing things. And you've got to have that curiosity, like you said, and that sense of adventure where you just want to travel and see the world and experience as much as possible. But it's not for everyone. That's a very good point. It's not for everyone.
Another thing that I would tell them is don't be scared, because whatever you will face, like whatever small problem you will face in the beginning, you will solve it. It's possible. Nothing is impossible. You will face small problems with documents and with stuff like that. It's completely doable. Don't be scared about that, and know that there will be some struggles. Just know it and be like, don't be scared. And also the most important thing for me that I tell everyone is learn the language. It's very important to learn the language.
Yeah, and that's something I'm getting from almost all of my guests that I have on the show. They almost all say learn the language, and I think as well, it's the only way you can experience the full experience and have the experience Germany basically.
Yeah, and have all opportunities open for you.
Exactly. Well, cool. This has been really fun talking to you. I've enjoyed it. Where can people find you? You said you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Maybe I'm not in Twitter, I think, which is strange for a developer. But anyways, I am in Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube as Lils Around. So it's easy to find me. And
Yeah, I'll put the links in the notes below, and you should definitely follow you on Instagram and Facebook and on YouTube if you understand Italian, and even if you don't, still it's fun to put on the auto translate and see what comes out. It's still very, very entertaining, I can confirm.
Cool, thanks.
Cool, thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
And that's it for this episode. You can follow me on Instagram, Expat Life Germany. You can find me on Facebook, Expat Life Germany. And there's also an Expat Life Germany group that you can join. You can also go to expatlifegermany.de and see all the episodes I've produced. You can look at some blog posts, and you can click the link, be on the show, like Liliana did. Liliana clicked that link and came on the show. So be like Liliana. And who knows, you could end up on an episode of Expat Life Germany podcast. And that's it. Catch you next time. Auf Wiederhören.